Hey everyone, Techni here with a review of BenQ ZOWIE's new esports gaming monitor, the XL2546S. Alright, so a couple quick specs on this monitor before we dive into it right here. Number one, it is at a 1080p 25-inch TN panel, 240 Hz with a 1 millisecond response time. So as far as in your boxes, you're going to get a quick setup guide and some warranty information, paperwork, a USB cable, a display cable, a monitor cover over here, and then your power cable. By the way, there's no external brick, so it's just this little power cable coming out of it. You get your S switch, which we'll talk a lot about later, some side guards or blockers, whatever. You're going to get your arm, which is adjustable. Again, we'll talk about this later, and then your stand. This is how it comes straight out the box. As you can see, you got a couple teeth right up here, notches right there. You pretty much just take it, bam, clip it down, and you are done. And it's that easy to remove. You just press that button, bam, and it pops out. Absolutely fantastic. So as far as the ports on the back of the monitor right here, you have a mic port, you have your port for your S switch we just talked about, DVI, two HDMIs, a display port, and then your USB for your pass-throughs on the side. Talking about the ports on the side right here, as you can see, you have a mic port and a headphone port, two USB ports, and then over here you have a headphone hanger. By the way, quick note on the headphone port right there, I did test it out with some headphones in it, and it's not really gonna push or power your headphones, but it does work. Alright, so as you can see, we have the monitor plugged up right now. And first off, right out there, I want to show you that I do keep the little guards on right there. I'm sure it's more for esports, it kind of blocks off the crowd behind you and everything, but for me, I have the backdrop of red lights, and then I keep the ambient light back there and everything. And it's real nice, just kind of put those back there and just block that out. So again, you can focus right on your game. The second thing I want to point out, which is super cool about this guy right here, is the little S switch. And kind of just think about this as like you control all your settings right from this guy. But the super cool thing about this, again, talking about being an esports monitor, right? If you're going to competitions or LAN parties or something like that, all of your settings and your profiles will be set right to this. At least 3 of your profiles, right? Plug it into that monitor, bam, press the button, and it's gonna switch right over to whichever profile you have. How stinking cool is that? And it actually has a spot right down there on the base of the monitor for it to sit, but you don't have to put it there. Nice rubber grips on the bottom. You can set it wherever you want to if you want it closer to you. And heck, maybe you can use that as a cup holder. Now you do also have the options to control all your settings right here on the monitor on the bottom right with your buttons right next to your power button there. But again, going right back to that little puck, it's so cool being able to go right into it, bam. You got a couple shortcuts right there, and you can set the shortcuts to whatever you desire. But it's super cool. You go into your menus, you have so many different options to choose from, whether it be number one right off the bat, you have DyAc right there from premium, high, and off. Black equalizer. Now the black equalizer, just so you know, it's going to be able to bring out some characters, like if they're hiding in a corner, think of like a camper, right? You know what I mean? Higher up that black equalizer and you'll be able to see those really dark areas a little more. Yes, it does brighten up the rest of your screen a little bit, so again, maybe just for certain games. Color vibrancy, low blue light. And then you can also save your settings right here, 1, 2, and 3, which again gets saved right to that puck. Coming down here to your picture settings, you have all your picture modes right there, some presets, or you can get in there and dabble with your customs, brightness, contrast, all of your basic stuff over here, color, temperature, and everything, dynamic contrast, just again your basic stuff to kind of dial it in to your preferred liking. Let me tell you what, straight out the box, I did have to mess with these settings. Right out the box, it just looked very dull to me, you know what I mean? But once you get in here, actually spend some time with your game with these settings, you can really make this guy shine. And then scrolling down a little bit more, you have your display settings, display mode, all that, and then your system with this, your headphone or a mute or anything like that, on-screen display. Really cool thing down here, your custom key, that is actually your customs right on the front of the monitor right there. You can set to a quick setting. When you come down here to other settings, you have some other cool things in here. LED indicator, me at least, I turned that off because that's the power button right there, and it just bothered me having that light right up on the front of the screen. So again, I highly recommend you go in there and just click that off. Now this monitor also has tons of adjustment all the way up right here, plenty of high, all the way down, super low, in and out, front and back and everything, and it feels really solid. The thing I really love about it, whenever you turn it, you have these little notches right here letting you know where it is. Because again, if you're moving your monitor a lot at a competition, LAN party, or heck, even at home, I move my monitor around if I'm just watching videos or something like that, right? I just kick my chair back and then I got to turn the monitor, right? When I get back into gaming, I like it to be at that specific height right there. And it's so cool having all those markers right down there on the bottom, or then also on the back right here to let you know the setting. Bam, set it right there to get right back into your game and be set at that perfect position. Now, talking about it being a T-end panel, yes, the viewing angles stink with T-end panels. Whenever you bring it to the side, you'll see the far end over here start to fade out a little bit. But again, we're buying this esports high caliber gaming monitor right here with all these specs. You're going to be sitting right here gaming, right? You're not going to be looking at it from an angle. You're going to be smack dab right in front of it. Next up, what I would like to talk about is the performance and actually gaming with this monitor. I play a whole lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, a lot of Warzone these days. And can you tell that difference first off of 240 hertz? Number one, depending on what you're coming from. If you're coming from 60 hertz to 240, wow, it is night and day. It is completely world changing for sure, hands down. Now, my primary monitor is 144 hertz. Can I tell a difference from 144 hertz to 240? Yes. Is it that drastic? No. But it is still very noticeable. But if you all have been here for a while, this is not our first 240 hertz monitor we've tested. We've tested many 144 hertz monitor or anything. And what makes this one stand out compared to, say, another 240 hertz monitor? That's where the DyAc Plus really comes into play with this guy. Now, as far as DyAc Plus compared to DyAc with the older version, the non-S version, I don't know what that difference is. I know they put a new display in it. It's a fast crystal display or whatever. Again, I've never tested the original one, so I'm not too sure as far as comparisons of that. So I can tell you my experience with this thing. And does the DyAc Plus make a difference? 100% it makes a clear as day difference whenever you're gaming. Believe it or not, the first time I used it and I fired up DyAc Plus in a game of Call of Duty right there, it got me a little nauseous, and I think why that was, with DyAc Plus, what it does is usually you're getting your frames going through right there. It'll cut out that middle frame and then go right to the next one to prevent some of that blur if your gun's firing, something like that, prevent some of that kind of like shake you see in there, right? Or again, if you're moving around a lot with a real busy environment. And for me, with it cutting that out, I don't know, I guess my eyes weren't used to it. I honestly got nauseous the first day I said, this is weird, this can't be right. But after I got used to it, it was a game changer. It really was. Just with fast motion, it was clearly noticeable. Is it that massive jump going from like 60 hertz to 240? No, not at all. It's not even that big of a difference going from 144 to 240. It's not at all. But again, talking about this being an esports monitor, right? Every little bit counts. And that's what I like from BenQ. I was asking them, I said, well, what's the biggest upgrade between this one or the S version and the older version? They said, oh, it's just minute differences. We put a faster display in it, but every little pinch counts. Now, I know in a lot of my monitor reviews, a lot of people ask me, hey, man, you show the UFO testing by Blurbusters and everything. I can throw it up on a screen right here, but it is not going to do it justice. Number one, you're going from my screen into my camera, which doesn't capture at 240, by the way, and then into your monitor. I'm not sure if you're using a 240 hertz monitor. So anyways, you're going to have a lot of jumble right there, and you're not going to be able to see it in person. But let me just tell you, doing the UFO testing right there with DyAc off, you see the UFOs going, and it's pretty clear, right? We're running 240 hertz and everything. But let me tell you what, it was so mind-blowing when I fired up DyAc right there, and then within the UFOs, for those three little dots you can see in between the UFO right there, lights or whatever you want to call them right there, you could clearly see each single dot rather than it being like a line or, you know, a couple dots and some blur. It was clear as day, each dot. It was that much of a difference. Now, on a side note, something that's really cool that caught my eye with this monitor, again with the DyAc engaged and everything, is jumping into a game like Assassin's Creed. I honestly couldn't play Assassin's Creed, the newer one. There's so much going on, very, you know, foliage, full environments and everything. And whenever I'd spin around or anything, it just, again, get me nauseous. Maybe I'm just sensitive to these things, you know what I mean? But again, whenever I move around a lot, all the foliage and everything would start looking really fuzzy and making me real nauseous and slightly dizzy. Whenever I fired up DyAc with this guy, what an awesome experience. Again, coming over here, right in all this foliage, everything right in my main view here is crystal clear. Even whenever I'm moving, sure, the background, you're still getting that blurred image and everything, but everything right in front of you right here and around you in this vicinity is crystal stinking smooth. And every time you're going from each different end to end, bam, it's right in place right there. You don't get this back blur or anything like that. Really awesome. Again, even on story games. So that brings me right to the conclusion of this monitor. It's like, who is this monitor for, right? Me personally, I think it's for the best of the best, or the person that wants to be the best of the best. Am I the best gamer? Not even close, not at all. But yes, I can tell the difference, right? We spend all this money on graphics cards and everything. Let's get the best out of it right there. Talking about graphics card, to get to 240 hertz and really push this guy, you're gonna need a beefy PC right there. I use an i7 9700K and a 2080 Super, and it is hard for me to maintain 240. Usually I'm right at the low 200s or very high 100s right there. So again, you gotta put all that into play. Number one, again, is your PC gonna be able to push what this monitor can handle right here? Number two, are you that really competitive player that you want that top-notch monitor that's not gonna give you any sort of fuzzy picture, anything crystal clear, very smooth, and gives you that slight advantage over your competitor? And that's what this is gonna give you right here. Again, with you combine the DyAc, the 240 hertz, the 1 millisecond response, you know, even down to little things like the control box right down right here, right? The black stabilizer. You combine all that stuff right in there, you're gonna have a fantastic experience here. But again, what I recommend you doing is, number one, sitting down and thinking, what do you play? What do you want to play and how you want to play? More importantly, before all that actually, is can your PC play how you're wanting to play? But yes, all in all, this monitor is a complete win. Coming in at 500 bucks, it gets my total stamp of approval. A fantastic monitor. But hey, thank you so much for stopping by and watching my review on the BenQ ZOWIE XL2546S esports gaming monitor right here. I hope I answered some questions if you were looking at this monitor. If you have any more, definitely ask right down in the comments right there, or hit me up on Twitter with a DM. I'll be more than glad to answer them for you. But hey, again, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for some future tech videos. Hey, I hope I catch you in the next one. Bye now. But hey, thank you so much for stopping by and watching my review on the BenQ XL2546S. But hey, thank you so much for stopping by and watching my review on the BenQ XL2546S. I've said it so many times, I about remembered it.